In this video, we'll be discussing everything about Twitter ads conversion tracking from A to Z, and we'll be doing it in plain English. So if you're not one of those techie types, this is the video for you. We'll dive in right after this. Welcome to another AdSkills tutorial. My name is John Belcher. I'm the teacher here at AdSkills, and in this video, we're going to be talking about Twitter ads conversion tracking. I want to talk about why it's vital to your ad success to help you create profitable campaigns on Twitter, how it's going to help you optimize and scale, and since this is something on the techie side, I really want to break this down for you in plain English. So the agenda for this video is, first, we're going to talk about what it is in plain English. So I'm going to talk about cookies and cookie monsters to make it super simple. Second, we're going to talk about why it's so important. Third, we're going to talk about the required steps, the basics that you absolutely have to do in order to use it effectively. And then finally, we're going to talk about some advanced tactics to help you level up to the pro level. So enough with the agenda, let's get down to business. So in my experience, I've always found that whenever we talk about conversion tracking, a lot of people's eyes glaze over because it's a very technical subject that really isn't that interesting to most people, but it's absolutely crucial to your success. So that's why I want to talk about what exactly Twitter conversion tracking is, and I want to break it down in very plain English. So at the very highest level, tracking is simply measuring. You have to have three things to measure: a point A, a point B, and a way to connect them. And so that's all we're trying to do here is we want to track from point A to point B to see what your results are. In the Twitter world, we want to measure from your ad to the desired action that's taking place on your website. That's all we're doing is measuring with Twitter tools. So how this actually works is whenever someone clicks on an ad on Twitter, Twitter places a cookie on that device saying it's a Twitter cookie, so they know that someone has come from a Twitter ad. And then what you have to do is place a piece of code on your website, what's called your universal tag, that recognizes when someone who comes with that Twitter cookie to your site and takes the action that you want, it can count that. So I call that your cookie monster. That Twitter cookie monster is only looking for Twitter cookies. It's not going to eat anything else. So if people come, buy your stuff, opt in for lead magnets, call your business, whatever it is that you want them to do, it's only going to count whenever someone with a Twitter cookie comes and takes that particular action. So all you have to do is put that cookie monster on your site and tell Twitter what you care about, and then you'll be set up to measure your success. But let's talk for a second about why that is so important. So I know you have a million things that people are telling you to do to improve your business. So I want to give you a few no BS reasons for actually doing this stuff. You want to be able to see what's driving leads and sales. You want to learn which targeting you're using on Twitter is helping you reach your target audience. Third, you're going to discover what messaging is working. As you go through and build your different ads with your different messages or different images, your conversion tracking is going to let you measure which ad is producing the most results. That way you can say, wow, this is working really well on Twitter. Maybe I should try this messaging on Facebook or in my emails or on my podcast, whatever that is. It's going to allow you to figure out what is resonating with your audience. And then finally, all of these things are a factor in making a profit, which is really what we're in this for, right? You want to be able to generate a profit using your Twitter advertising, and so that's why conversion tracking is an absolute must. The reason that Twitter wants you to go through and do this is because it wants to help you serve your ad to the right people. These social networks know they really are only able to exist because of advertisers, so they want to do everything possible to help you. And the reason they do that is because if you're making more money, you're going to turn around and spend more money with them. So it's a continuous loop, and that's why it's really important for you to take the time to put these pieces into place. Because Twitter wants to help you, we want to help you. If you want to help you make more profit, this is something you need to do. So here's what we're going to do to help you make this happen. First, we're going to teach you how to implement all of these pixels and feed clean data back to Twitter. I don't want you to have to go figure it out. I want you to know exactly what to do so you can start working on your ads right away. Second, I'm going to talk with you about some advanced tactics, things that you can do to continue to level up in your game to the pro level to make sure that you're doing everything possible to optimize your ads quickly and get to that profitable stage fast. So let's dive into what's actually required to make this stuff happen. All right, so these steps that we're going to talk about right now are the absolute cannot skips. You have to have these in place in order to have your Twitter conversion tracking working. So the steps are, first, you need to place your universal pixel on your website. I'm going to show you how to generate it and then put it on your site with two different options. Then we're going to go through it and verify that your pixel is firing. It doesn't make sense if it's on your site if it's not actually working. So we're going to verify it's working. And then finally, you need to tell Twitter which actions matter to you. So are they leads? Are they sales? And in the digital sense, how can you communicate that information back to Twitter? So let's dive in. So your Twitter universal pixel, that's what I'll talk about right here, is your cookie monster. It's just a piece of JavaScript code that you're going to place on your site in order to be able to track everything that's going on and send information back to Twitter. So while we're going to be talking about code, you don't have to know how to do anything. It's already pre-populated for you. You just need to go put it on your website. So the first thing you have to do is go into your Twitter ads account and get your universal website tag. I'll show you how to do it here in just a second, but you're going to go click up on the header. You're going to click on Tools, go to Conversion Tracking on your dropdown, and then you're going to copy the full code. If you haven't already set it up yet, you're going to go in and it'll ask you to set up your code. It'll generate a piece for you, and you'll go grab it, and you're going to take it and implement it. So let's head over to your Twitter ads account, and I'll show you how to do that right now. All right, so we're here inside of our Twitter ads account. And how I got to this page, I click Tools, Conversion Tracking, and then what I want to do, since I've already set this up, is View Code and Installation Instructions. I click on this, and this is the code that I want to go through and copy. If you do not already have this set up, this is a brand new account for you. It's going to have Create Code. You will populate that code, you will copy it, and then we'll head back over to the tutorial so I can tell you what you're actually going to do with it. So now you've got your code, I want you to look inside that code and find the number like I want to have in the pink box. That's a very important number. When we do our implementation with Google Tag Manager, this is the number that we need to know, so I want you to know yours. So now what we need to do is go through and take our cookie monster and put it onto our website. There's two options to do that, a direct installation, or you can use Google Tag Manager. So a direct installation is where you're going to go in, you're going to open up your HTML code, and you're going to find what's called the closing body tag. So it's the /body caret. That's the end of your body code snippet, and you can go paste that right above it, right above that body tag, onto your website. You're going to click Save, and you'll publish it. It's really easy to do this with WordPress, ClickFunnels, Lead Pages. Most of the major tools that we utilize give us the ability to do this, but if you don't know how to do it, you're not technical, just hire someone on Upwork to come in and place your pixel for you. It's a very simple process. It might cost you 20 bucks, but it makes a huge difference in the long run. There's great ROI there. There's people on Upwork that do this all day. The other option to help you do it, the one that we prefer, is using a tag management system. We use what's called Google Tag Manager. So Google Tag Manager is basically a tube that you plug into your website that allows you to go add code to your site whenever you want to without actually having to go implement anything on the site. So that's why we love it. We recommend everyone using it. If you don't already have it implemented on your site, you could go look at implementing the Tag Manager code on your site and be able to do it that way. If you already have it implemented, I'm going to show you here in just a second how to actually install your Twitter tag. So what you're going to need for this is the 6-digit ID I showed you earlier inside of your code. What you're going to do is you're going to create a tag that's going to fire on all pages using the Twitter template that I'll show you. And then finally, you're going to preview, make sure it's working, and then you're going to publish it to your site. So let's head over to Tag Manager, and I'll show you how to deploy your Twitter tag. All right, so we're inside of our Tag Manager account, and we're going to go through and set up our Twitter Universal Pixel. So you come through, you're going to click on Tags, New. So I always put my initials in there, and I call this Twitter Universal Pixel. And I do it for all pages. So triggering, all pages. And then what you'll do is you'll come in here, and you go all the way down, and there is a Twitter pixel, so Twitter Universal Website Tag. And all you have to do is take that little number I told you, and you're going to paste it in here. Now, some are 5 or some are 6 digits. All you want to do is go through and put that in. It's going to fire on all pages, and you'll click Save. You click Preview, you can go through to your site, make sure it's showing up, and then you click Submit, and it will be active live on your site as long as you've got Tag Manager installed correctly. So let's head back over to the tutorial, and I'll teach you how to verify that your pixel is firing correctly. Okay, so whether you did the direct installation or the Google Tag Manager implementation, you've gone through and you've placed your Universal Pixel on your site. At least you think you have. What we want to go through and do now is verify that our pixel is firing. And we use a tool for that called Twitter Pixel Helper. So this is a Chrome extension. You go through and you use Google Chrome as your browser, and you can add this to your extension. And what it's going to do, it's going to be a little thing up on your toolbar that's going to show you, yes, there's a Twitter pixel on this page. And if you open it up, you can see the tag ID inside of it. Really an amazing tool that helps you go through and make sure, verify that this stuff is working very quickly. So let's head over and I'll show you how this actually works in real time. All right, so I'm here on my site, and you can see up here, I'm in Google Chrome on my toolbar. You see this little Twitter icon. There is a Twitter website tag on this page. So if I click on this, it will show the tag the tag ID. So NV4NX, which is the tag in there. So everything is working correctly. You can drop in here and you can see all the different details, the things that you can do more specifically with Twitter. But this is really the way that just to verify, hey, things look good, everything's working, and you are set. So once you've got everything confirmed, let's head back over to the tutorial and I will teach you how to build your first conversion. Now that you've gone through and verified that your pixel is working, all you have left to do is go through and tell Twitter which actions matter to you. And that's what we call building your conversions. So what we're going to do is go through and tell Twitter, so we've got our cookie monster on our page, it's going to be able to track across all the pages of our website. And now what we want to do is go through and create rules. So we're going to go through and tell Twitter which pages are important to us. Typically, these are thank you pages. So if someone comes onto your website and opts in for a free ebook and lands on the thank you page, that thank you page is the one we want to tell Twitter, hey, someone landed on this, they have a Twitter cookie, we want to send this information back to Twitter so we understand which ads drove this and we can continue to invest in those ads. Now, Twitter's actually done a very nice job of making this a simple process. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to click on the Tools button on your header, go down to Conversion Tracking, and you're going to create a new conversion event. So when you follow those instructions, you're going to have a menu like this pop up, and here's the settings that you want for this. So the first thing you're going to do is use your universal website tag to go through, and it's going to pull out page view events. So this only works for page views. If you have something like clicks or you want to do something like consumption, we'll talk about that in a second in the advanced tactics. This is only for page views. So if you've got something like a thank you page that someone's going to land on, what you're going to do is you're going to go up to the URL, you're going to take the slash after your website name, and whatever that is, you're going to plug it in here. And you're going to take it URL contains not exact URL. And the reason for that is a lot of times with tools, they'll put a question mark, which is called the query, and then tracking information after it. So you obviously, that's unique for everyone. Let's say it's the user ID or the customer ID. You won't be able to track a unique ID for everyone. What you want to do is take URL contains your thank you, and then the tracking information will be ignored. The last thing you want to do is make sure you set your windows down here for your attribution 30 days. The first one means someone clicked on the ad, and within 30 days they came through and completed that action that you wanted them to. The second one is called view through attribution, and it's if they saw your ad but did not click and came through and completed. It happens more often than you would think, so we always go with 30 and 7. How you're actually going to utilize this conversion is when you're going through and you're setting up your ads, you're going to be inside of your campaign, then your ad group. So it's called your ad group details. You want to make sure you're using a website clicks / conversion objective of your ad campaigns. Inside of your ad group details, you'll come in, you'll see optimization preference. This is default set for link clicks. You're going to change it to website conversions because you want the algorithm not to drive more clicks, you want it to drive more conversions. And then you're going to use the key conversion metric. This is the conversion you just created. So you're going to name it whatever it is that you want to name it. And then once it's verified, once you basically refresh the page, that thank you page event fires, it's going to be in here. You'll say, hey, I want to make sure that this campaign, the optimization point, so what the algorithm is working to optimize, is people who opt in for this or buy this. So that's really how you're going to go through and utilize these conversions to tune your campaigns. So let's head over into our Twitter ads account so I can show you how to create a conversion and then how to actually utilize it inside of one of your campaigns. Let's roll over there. All right, so we're inside of our Twitter ads account. We're to create our first conversion event. So the way you get here is Tools, Conversion Tracking, and then this big blue button is where you want to create your new conversion event. So what I'm going to follow here is I'm going to call this Belcher example conversion. I want this to be a site visit. We're going to use the universal tag. I'm going to change it from all website to URL contains, and then I'm going to use /tt-offer, which is this page right here. It's just an example landing page. This is not something I would do in real life. I would only use it for the thank you page perspective. So all I want to make sure that you understand is what you need to put in here is it's adskills.com/tt-offer. That's what the TT offer after the slash is what we want to utilize. So that's what you're going to use. URL contains this. I'm going to set it for 30 and 7 and click I agree. And then I'm going to save this event. So if we go back to our list, we can see Belcher example conversion with this one. We got the tracking in there, and it's the TT offer. So I know if I go through and someone lands on this page, I can send a conversion. So here's how you actually use that when you set up your campaigns. You click campaigns. You're going to create a new campaign. Website clicks or conversions. I'm just going to call this test. Not really that important right now. And then as you come in here, you'll see down here, so I'm in ad groups details. I'm going to change it from link clicks to website conversions. And then I'm looking for Belcher example conversion. So now we've got our conversion set up and our campaigns are going to optimize to drive as many of those as possible. So that's really the most important thing that you need right now in order to put yourself in a position to win. Let's head back to the tutorials where we can talk a little bit more about some advanced tactics. All right, so now you've got your universal conversions in place, your page view conversions. This is where most businesses can stop. Most businesses operate on the thank you page methodology. They're able to go through and utilize these conversions, optimize their campaigns. They'll have all of the metric measuring that they need. They're in a very good spot. So you can feel comfortable that you're feeding Twitter data, you have the ability to optimize your ads, and you can find profitable opportunities. So if you fall into this category and you're good, make sure to check this stuff out. First, you want to make sure that you subscribe to the channel for more useful tutorials. We're putting out tutorials all the time on all types of things to help you drive more profitable ads. So make sure you subscribe to the AdSkills channel. Second, if you haven't already done it, make sure to check out our Bulletproof Twitter Ads course. Inside the course, I talk about everything from research, planning, the systems and processes we follow to set up, optimize, and scale our campaigns. Most importantly, I talk with you how to avoid the Twitter traffic traps, which are the little automatically checked boxes and holes inside of every ad network that cause you to spend your money on traffic you don't want to be advertising to. So it's really important to know that stuff is in place. So I put a link down in the description. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please do. I don't want you to work so hard putting all of your conversion tracking in place and then waste your money because you didn't set up your campaigns correctly. For those of you who don't have page view conversions, you need something like clicks, consumption, or if you have an app, that's what we're gonna get to here in the advanced stuff section. So the other option as you're going through and you're setting up your conversion tracking, we go back to this menu here, is rather than having the single universal website tag, you've got what's known as a single event website tag. And what's unique about this is going to create a specific piece of code for every single thing that you want to track. So since it's not a page view, if it's a link click of link 1, you'll have a code for link 1, you'll have a code for link 2, you'll have a code for link 3, and on and on and on. So how you want to go through and set this up, single event website tag, you're going to create the tailored audience, so you want to make sure this is checked because it's going to make an audience of anyone who completed this. And then finally 30 and 7 for the other pieces. So when you would actually use these, link clicks is really important. It could be if someone's going to click on a phone call on your site, you want to make sure it fires them. If you use third-party tools to go through and fulfill a lot of your services. So let's say you use Eventbrite to sell tickets. You've got Typeform to go through and take customer information, stuff like that. It's really hard with third-party tools to go in and put code inside of their tool because it opens up that code to everybody that don't want to do that. So what professionals do oftentimes is if we're driving our campaigns to a third-party tool we don't have the ability to put our code on, we'll go through and we'll track a link click. So using Google Tag Manager, we will track whenever someone clicks on that link and fire the event that way. So I'll show you how to do that here in just a second. I'll do a tutorial with a link click event. The other use cases, single page applications. So if you have a company with a single page application, you don't use page views, you'll want to use single event use cases. You'll want to use Twitter single events in order to make sure that you're tracking the steps of your processes. So let's say you've got a form, you've got 4 steps to it, you're gonna have 3 events, step 2, step 3, step 4, say you've completed each one of these. It's really important to go through and do that. And then finally, user behavior is a huge opportunity. So we track things like video consumption, time on site, scroll tracking. You have the ability to go through and fire conversion events based off those things. So let's say someone watched 75% of your video. You can go through and send an event off that to optimize your ads to say, drive more people who watch the majority of these videos. So I'm not going to cover how to do that in this tutorial. I've got a course called Conversion Tracking Masters that will teach you how to do that. So make sure you check that out. So the implementation using Google Tag Manager, single event tags. So what we're going to do is you're going to copy the code with the unique ID for the event that you want. You're going to build a trigger so that it fires on whichever action. So I'll show you here in a second. If someone clicks on a particular link, I'll build a trigger saying if they click on this link, fire this particular Twitter conversion event. And what you're going to use from the tag perspective is called a custom HTML tag. I'll show you how to do that in the tutorial right now. Okay, so when we talk about a use case for these single events with Twitter ads, what I want to do is kind of come up with a case study so you can get an idea of how my brain works when you use these, and then you can apply it to your business. So let's say we're driving Twitter ads to our homepage, which we would never do. Please never drive people to your homepage. It's a landing page. Landing pages are really important. They need to be customized for your particular ad. But let's say we're doing that, and I want to track whenever someone clicks on the courses link. So if I click on courses, this is the URL that the person's going to go to. That's what works in the header. So I'm going to come into our tag manager, and I'm going to create a new trigger. So new, I'll call this JB courses trigger. It's a link click. And so this is going to be, what we're looking for here is just links, some link clicks, and I want to track whenever someone clicks on the click URL, so the link that they're clicking on, whenever that URL contains adskills.com/courses, I want this to fire. If this click URL is not showing up in your tag manager, you need to come into your variable setting. It's underneath built-in variables. You have to turn your click URL on. So I'll click save. So now that I've got my trigger in place, I want to go back into Twitter and create a new single event that's called course clicks. So whenever someone clicks on the courses, I can send a Twitter event with a specific unique ID. So come back into my Twitter ads tools, conversion tracking. I'm going to create a new conversion event. I'm going to call this Belcher courses link click. It's going to be a custom conversion. I'm going to use a single event tag, website tag. I want to create a tailored audience 30 and 7. Click I agree. And we're going to save this conversion event. So now it's going to populate this code. So I want to take all of this code. I want to copy this. I'm going to head back in Tag Manager. And I'm going to create a new tag. I'm going to call this JB Twitter conversion courses link click. Tag configuration. This is going to be a custom HTML tag. I'm going to paste the code in here. And I'm going to trigger it whenever someone clicks on JB courses link trigger link click. So I'm going to click save, preview. So got my preview up. We can see the tags that have fired on this page, which our Twitter tag is not. If I go look down here, it should be JB Twitter conversion courses link click is not fired yet. If I come back up here, I'm going to press the command button since I'm on a Mac and click on courses. And now our Twitter conversion courses link click should show up. Where did you go? I look in here, this is the script that's fired. So now all we have to do is come back into our tag manager account. We're going to click submit and it will be active on our site. And so when we do that, what I want to show you right now is inside of Twitter. Come back in here, you can see that my conversion is unverified. It takes a little bit for it to go through and for that signal to be sent. Once it's received, it will go from this orange unverified to this green tracking, and then you can use it just like any other universal website tag. So you will be in a good spot there. And now you really have every tool in the bag that you need. You know how to use page views and non-page views, how to send conversion events off everything. So you're in a really good spot. So let's go back to the tutorial and finish this bad boy up. So that should handle most use cases when it comes to website businesses. If you have an app that you're using and you want to promote it on Twitter, you can't actually place the pixel inside of your app. There's no SDK for it. What you need is a third-party analytics tool. So the ones that I recommend are AppsFlyer and Tune. If you can get those, they will go through and they integrate. That SDK is put inside your app. Those automatically integrate with all of the major ad networks. Twitter has an integration with them, and it will auto pass all of your information back and forth so you can attribute. So if you have an app, that's how you go through and do that. And that, my friends, is everything that you need to know about Twitter conversion tracking. If you found this tutorial helpful or have any questions, make sure to post them in the comments down below and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. If you like this tutorial and want to be notified whenever we put out more, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to join our 20,000 subscriber daily newsletter that talks about cutting edge topics and paid traffic, make sure to text Daily Edge to 44222.